fire off in here into round 3. There's the man of the hour, Mr. Maxx Turner.
There's Exodia on the table.
Yeah, Chris always brings that and plops that down there. I don't know what, I think it's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'm not sure. So Maxx Turner, piloting the People's deck of choice.
What was it this week?
It is Stuffy Doll.
Stuffy Doll, correct. It's green-red.
Green-red, yeah. Green-red Stuffy Doll.
My vote went to 5-color control.
I picked Stuffy Doll. I wanted to see him play. It won handily. We've had 2 polls, and each week the winner has been...
way,
yeah.
like 70%.
I saw Chris testing Burn at the Stake earlier tonight, but I think every week Chris comes with a different deck he wants to play, and then at last minute audibles back to his Rakdos Aggro deck. So I'm just going to assume he's done that as well this week. So this is going to be a tough matchup for Max. He does have a lot of burn spells, and in fact I am right, but he does have a lot of red removal spells. So he should be in a decent shape. Turn 1, Diagraph Ghoul from Chris.
Seems solid. No pillar either.
How often does the Stuffy Doll deck to deal with creature-heavy decks? Pretty good,
He has
right?
tons of removal, yeah.
Okay.
So Knight of
If
Infamy.
he gets in there fast enough, now it's 3, so he's at 17.
Yeah. So for those of you unfamiliar with the Stuffy Doll deck and how it works, I will explain briefly. So Stuffy Doll is a 5-cost creature that is indestructible. It's an 0/1 that you can tap to ping itself, but more importantly, all damage done to Stuffy Doll is also done to your target opponent. So this deck plays Stuffy Doll and basically plays Blasphemous Act.
And wins.
And reverberates it and does stuff like that.
Of course.
So it's a lot of removal and things like that.
And also in a deck like Chris's where he doesn't have access to trample necessarily, it's one of the best blockers ever.
Yeah. The problem that this deck has, it is a Borderland Ranger maybe.
Pillar right there, that makes sense.
Pillar?
And reverberate, pillar, yeah.
Yeah, so he's pillaring and then comping the pillar, so that will exile those 2.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. The real problem with this deck, and Zach Villianco, who's not here like a big jerk, would have pointed out, this format is really lacking a pyroclasm effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's Garrick Relentless.
Fight it?
If you fight,
I would just fight the Cackler.
Fight.
huh? No, you fight the aristocrat, because then if Chris makes the mistake of not sacking his dude to it,
Okay, true.
the end result is going to be the same no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's not entirely true, because then Garrick would live.
Yeah, and I was gonna say you could sop up some damage. Maybe.
Yeah, but I guess you do. It's a question of whether or not you give them the opportunity to make a mistake.
7, so he did. It kind of forced his hand.
Yeah.
Grave Crawler is going out.
Yeah.
3.
Every time Chris has ever been on camera, he's had the nut draw like every time. So this is not.
Can he pull it out?
Oh, he's at 1?
He's at 1. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
I'm gonna say, Sam, that must be what she said.
So unfortunately,
I don't think that counts as a punt, so I haven't used my 1 punt left yet.
unfortunately, we've drawn Max in round 3 against possibly his worst matchup.
Aggro decks. What are they? They're all just like.
Well, but I've never, like, I'm 100% serious. I don't think Chris has ever been on camera and not have turn 4 Falcon Wrath Aristocrat. He can beat all the other cards. It's the Falcon Wrath Aristocrat.
Well, what kind of instant speed removal does he have?
Does Max have? He's playing Searing Spears.
Searing Spear's good. Gets rid of a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I'll take this opportunity. So yeah, basically, so Max's deck is it's got green ramp in it. He's playing Farseeks to help him get to that 5 mana. He's playing Garrick Relentless. That's a de facto removal spell, as well as an alternate win condition that helps him find Stuffy Dolls. And also has a very interesting action with Stuffy Doll in that he can basically lightning bolt the Stuffy Doll every turn.
Oh yeah.
or at least the first time if he wants to, and flip it because the Stuffy Doll doesn't actually do any damage to it. Yeah, so,
that's great.
yeah, so that is the main game plan. Is he's going to make that Stuffy Doll, ramp in the Stuffy Doll, make it, and then cast one of the massive sweepers. I don't know if he's playing into the Maw of Hell, which a couple decks sometimes play a couple of those. It is a 5 cost land destruction spell, but it does do 13 damage to target creature, so always pretty good. And you did see the Reverberate, which he gets a lot of use out of because the majority of his deck is instant or sorceries, and he can either double up on removal or, most importantly, copy a Blasphemous Act, which is an instant win.
One time before I die, I kind of want to see somebody reverberate and entreat the angels.
You want to see what?
Get the tokens?
Yeah, to get the tokens. That seemed like I would really like to see that. Legitimately once.
I think I've had like one friend tell me that he was in an FNM once for like a red deck player or whatever, like had like a reverberate or whatever, and like the control guy just like goes like miracles his angel, like turns it all sideways, gets like all these angels, and then goes like reverberate it. Let me just take all your angels. You just paid all this mana. I'm gonna.
You swing all. I'm gonna block all.
Yeah, like nothing.
Nothing changed.
So Max brought in 3 cards. I mean, he's basically pre-boarded for this matchup. It's just a very tough one for him. I don't understand why Chris does this weird thing with this card.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like why he does that.
What was that though?
It's apparently some kind of pre-game ritual.
That's how you get the 4-turn aristocrat every game.
Yeah. So I see Chris he has brought in Slaughter Games, which I wonder if he knows Max is playing the Stuffy Doll or not, because if he knows he's playing Stuffy Doll, this is one of the instances where I don't mind it, because the ability for Max to win is like infinitely lower once the Stuffy Dolls are out. But if he doesn't know it, then this is exactly the example where I'm talking about, where Slaughter Games is not any good. Because you just want...
He'll name something like Pillar, and then, oh, okay, yeah, sure, no problem, bro.
No 1-drop. Well, no, he does have 1-drop. Remind me at the end of this round to go out there and get my life tracker so I can plug it in. Rakdos Cackler. 1-drop, not a surprise from the Rakdos deck. It does play 12 of them.
So, like, out of the 1-drop hybrids that they made, how many of them actually saw constructed play? Like, Militancy's Legacy, right?
We know we saw Deathrite Shaman forever.
Well, I mean, like, I was going to say, like, the uncommon, that cycle.
The uncommon.
Judges familiar see some...
Yeah, definitely.
Judges familiar see some fringe play in Death and Taxes decks in Legacy.
I've seen it in Modern.
Yeah. The green-white one-dried militant is, I don't know, I play 2 copies of it in my Maverick deck in Legacy because it has a lot of... It carries a jit just as well as anything else does, and it's like pre-warding against Dredge.
Yeah.
Plus 2 1-for-1.
Yeah. Rakdos Cackler's fine. It's made its way into a lot of cubes. It's obviously very good in Standard. So Devil's Play. Devil's Play.
I don't think I've ever seen the Fight Bear actually fight.
Fight Bear, of course, good because it can tap to
That's a Geralt.
make something fight the Stuffy Doll.
Oh, you just snap Pillar.
Best Pillar ever.
Well, I mean, Max has been around the block. He knows that his pillars are infinitely better against the cards that he can't deal with, like Gravecrawler and Messenger, as opposed to the Rakdos Cackler.
Did you miss a land drop?
Did Max?
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris did not. Is it Vanguard?
Yep.
First time ever. No Falcon Wrath Aristocrat.
Yep.
Nighthawk. I wonder if those Nighthawks are main.
It's an interesting card. Like, I'm not expecting an aggro deck, like, to slow down their game plan.
I don't want to have that in my deck. I want to have that in my sideboard, maybe.
Maybe sometimes you just really need to gain the life, though. But it seems like Chris has run into that problem before, so...
I would feel like as a deck like that, like your resources are better committed to killing the player. Like if you're having trouble like on your own life total, and you actually have to spend time thinking about it, I think something's going wrong with the deck.
You probably shouldn't have reached that point. Was that Gravecrawler?
Yeah. But I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Aristocrat?
you can block something with Vampire and kill it on a good day. What's that?
Tapping out for Slaughter Games.
Slaughter Games.
I think Pillar.
No. Stuffy Doll.
Why did he take the pillar out of his hand?
What pillar?
Like he handed him a pillar and he took it.
Uh,
It might have been out of his yard. I think. Oh no, he named Stuffy Doll. Okay, I don't.
yeah. He had a Stuffy Doll in his hand and he put it on the side.
We made 2 piles and handed him a card or something.
Yeah, I may have had him in his hand. So looks like Max has a uphill battle all day.
Until it plays Whip Flare, and you're just like, how's that suit you?
I'm going to permanently ban Chris from the stream because all of his games are not fun to watch. He just either wins in like 10 minutes, and this week he's ruining our fun with Stuffy Doll. Obviously, I'm not being serious in that, but it is unfortunate that... well, Max's round 1 opponent does not like to play on camera, and then round 2, Max played against Joe Lewis, who he beat, but...
You know, ironically
I don't know
enough,
if he did or not.
Ironically enough,
No, these players are both 1-1, so Chris has dropped a game at some point.
if he kills Gravecrawler, then it won't be able to catch it from the grave from what we've seen.
So there's a fun play if you saw that. He blocked Diagraph Ghoul with his Fight Bear, and then before damage, he used the Fight Bear to fight the Gravecrawler and got rid of it.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, but he's stuck on lands here. And Chris never draws bad, so it doesn't matter, right?
You're off.
We're going to have 30 minutes left. So he can flash back his Devil's Play, but I don't think that's going to be good enough.
If he lays down another land, would he be within the reach of Blasphemous?
No, Blasphemous costs 9. He need one more
put him
land.
to 1, and then Messenger would just kill him on the next turn because he's at 3.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to search another game?
Yeah, go fine. We got tons of time.
We could just talk about Thrall Parasite.
I'm not talking about Thrall Parasite. Here's the pairings if you want to look at that.
Okay.
So while Jordan goes and tries to find us yet another game, let's use this opportunity to tell you how you can get in touch with us. If you're enjoying the stream, don't go away because we're going to have another match. We've got 30 minutes left to go in this round. 2 more rounds to go in Standard and then a top 8. So plenty of Magic to come. But while we are waiting for that next match, here are the ways that you can help support the stream that don't cost you a red cent. Follow us on various forms of social media. The username for all of them is Zach Sells Magic. That's me. It's very poor branding. It's from ages ago. I understand. But that's what we're stuck with for now. Go to youtube.com/Zach Sells Magic. Everything we have ever recorded is live there. So 22 weeks of coverage.
Nick Reid and Jeremy Bales is okay if Nick comes back on.
Sure, that's fine. It's just whoever's convenient.
Okay.
We can't like repeats are more than welcome in the second feature match. But yeah, like I said, we Cube Draft, Return to Ravnica drafts, West Virginia State Tournament, as well as all of our FNMs are on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter @ZachSellsMagic. There's giveaway information. There's various tweets about Magic throughout the week. It's a good way to keep up to date. All of our Facebook posts do get linked there as well. Go to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic or go to ZachSellsMagic.com. It will redirect you there. That is the best way to help. Go there, like the page, comment on stuff. There is daily Magic content. All the spoilers we're talking about, they show up there every week. Or every night when they're spoiled. Other interesting polls, discussions, links, and stuff like that. I spend a lot of time trying to make sure that there is usable Magic content on there every day, so check that out. And finally, if you're watching live on Twitch TV right now, you obviously know where the stream is, twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. But if you're watching on YouTube, try to check us out live sometime. You can also watch the archives there if you so choose. And if you're watching right now, please do me the favor, click on that button that says follow above and to the left of the video screen or the video window. You will receive an email notification anytime our stream goes live. Obviously, you can catch us every Friday at 6:30, but sometimes we do unscheduled events. We are going up to Gatecrash pre-release, and I think I'm going to play the Saturday and broadcast the Sunday. So we will have Gatecrash pre-release sealed event streaming. And if it's not Friday, you might not remember. So the only way you can be reminded of that is they send you an email. It's a service I use. I watch other streams. Say they remind me. These guys know that we want them to move because they are taking a long time. We're talking about champions of the parish.
Jeremy and them are taking a second anyway, so...
Okay. What else can we talk about? Let's talk about spoiler while they're...
Thrall Parasite.
We already talked about Thrall Parasite. Let's talk about this guy. Boros Guild Mage. I know the Guild Mages are probably not going to see a lot of... will not necessarily see a lot of standard play, but I figured since they're cyclic, we could talk about all of them. We talked about Dimir last week, which has a pretty sick combo with Jace Memory Adept, providing an alternate win condition via mill. Let's look at Sunhome Guild Mage. It's a 2/2 bear for the Boros colors like all the other in the cycle. Its abilities. First of all, it's a human, which is relevant. Its abilities are 1, red and a white. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn, so it's an Anthem type effect. You can stack those. And for 2 red and a white, put a 1/1 red and a white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield. So that's pretty cool.
And I think that ability alone makes this playable. I mean, it was playable in limited alone with the Anthem. It's the mana thing.
Yep.
I'll drop him down.
You're dropping?
It's not fun at all to play.
I apologize. I'll give you 2 packs to compensate. It's no big deal. It's no fun to play against the Rakdos deck ever. So it doesn't.
That deck's just not. I don't know.
It's not as fun.
There's no juice in it.
All right. Well, I apologize, Max.
It's nobody's
It
fault.
should have been fun. It should have been more fun.
I put myself out there and it happens.
It happens. Well, we'll make sure that you're compensated for your willingness to participate. Are you dropping and leaving? Or are you sticking around?
No, I'm hanging out.
Okay.
I just don't want to play that anymore.
I don't necessarily blame you.
1 and 2, I'm not going to get anything. So.
Well, at some point, if one of these guys wants to take a break or something, feel free to drop in, and we will chit-chat with you. I'm not running you out of here, so we can.
I'm not chasing
Go ahead and take my seat. I'm going to go try and carouse and try and get a game of Commander in.
Try to get some Commander in. So,
High stakes Commander.
so we swap one Mr. Sam Hanna for one Mr. Maxx Turner, who did what he could with the Stuffy Doll deck, but it just did not get there. So we do have a bonus feature match for you, thanks to
losing in 10 minutes.
there's your low light of the week, the turn 1 Rancor from Nick Reid. Jeremy Bales. Is Jeremy Bales playing zombies? Is it, do you know?
Yeah.
Is it mono black?
No, it should be green-black.
Green black?
Yeah. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be, because that's what he had for state. No,
Golgari zombies. And his opponent, which we saw in round 1, Nick Reid playing green-white humans. So a couple green-white humans decks floating around the top tables tonight. That is on a delay. Do you know what the where we stand as far as the game?
Oh, that's not.
I was reading the chat.
Hey, Jeremy.
Okay.
What game are you guys on? 2? Okay.
Who won?
Jeremy, who won? Sorry. Thanks. Yes. Nick won.
Alright. So, Vampire Nighthawk follows up the Gravecrawler, but unfortunately Knight of Glory has come down on the human side of the board. It's going to be a little bit difficult for Jeremy to fight through. What kind of green answers does he have to get through that?
To get through what?
Knight of Pro, his deck.
I don't think there are. I think you just have to like fight around it. Kind of deal.
Golgari charm kills it.
Gives it everything -1/-1. Seems good.
I lost to a Golgari charm against Joe Lewis. He regenerated.
But you beat Joe. No, you lost to Joe Lewis.
Went to game 3 and almost pulled it out.
I'm very sorry that the deck wasn't as fun.
It's very grindy and very.
I guess it's tough to pick like fun decks every week that live up to.
What is it?
On paper, that deck looks like it should be amazingly fun, and
It doesn't really do anything. It's all reactive.
exactly.
And then when you get
How pivotal is
Stuffy
it?
Doll Slugger games,
It's not.
It's not pivotal at all.
Stuffy Doll, I won without it as many times as I won with it. Groot Relentless was the all-star. He was the deck.
well, we'll talk about your deck here a little bit after the rounds. Let's see what these fellas have got going on.
Man, that's a really aggressive
Oh man, was that a 2-2 mayor?
2-2 mare and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3.
1, 2,
2.
It should
1,
be
2,
a 6.
3, 4, 5, 6. 6-3 trampling knight.
With protection from his deck.
Yes.
My word. This isn't looking good.
Jeremy chooses not to block because it is not allowed by the rules of Magic, as the knight is in fact
But
pro-black.
he chose not to either way. He didn't try to break the rules.
He didn't. To be fair, he didn't. Nighthawk on board, Gravecrawler and Dress Messenger, Abrupt Decay on the untapped mare. Is he just going to try a race here? Guess that's the only thing he can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's going to gain 2. And Nick is dead on board. I mean, he can obviously block.
Hey,
He's also...
that buys Jeremy a turn, doesn't it?
I mean, if he has another removal spell for the other mayor.
does the Silverblade Paladin win the game?
Oh, no, because he's not as big anymore.
A Rancor and a Silverblade Paladin do.
But we're just bringing the mayor over.
Just bring in the mare, which is 3, right?
Yep.
Why did he go down to 9? Did he forget his lifelink trigger?
He must.
Well, I tried my best to keep the game stay as clean as possible for fear of eventual trolling from the internet later. I cannot... I can track plays. It's very hard for me to track life totals while also doing all of this. So,
Drains him 2, that's 4, so 6, he's at 1.
yeah. I think Nick wins in the crack pack, doesn't he?
Sweet Son and Blood.
Or play a messenger. You just play a messenger.
Abrupt Decay. I think he's representing Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay on the mare is still good.
Yeah.
Or a murder.
You can attack. I mean, I guess you have to attack here at 1. Like, you're not going to be able to beat the crackback, but, like...
You can't kill right here,
People are
right?
donating money to buy packs.
Huh?
You have to scroll back up.
What's going on? Someone's telling me to step up my game. Does anyone know what I'm supposed to do to step up my game?
No, but I was reading, up a little bit.
That's my boy Nicholas. That's old Tinder's fiance from
They both did.
Sweden.
Such a nice
We appreciate it.
I'll have to send them something too.
Yeah, I'll find something cool.
Alright, so it could not get there. Nick tried to find a way out of that mess, but...
That was looking really good in Nick's favor, but it didn't pan out.
Well, I mean, I almost said more jargon, but, like, Garrus Messenger is, like, it's an amazing... As long as you're doing his racing, if you're not gaining any life, it's very tough to be a Garrus Messenger.
Yeah.
Like, without any other kind of interaction or whatever.
You know, he saw me, I had to rip a pillar to live through the 1.
Yeah, so the chat is confirming that he did miss 1 life gain trigger, which I thought. Luckily it didn't matter, but...
Tell him to step his game up.
Don't, because he already got mad at us because we had to ask him, like, what game it was and who was winning and stuff like that. So,
You don't want to question, don't play on camera.
well, to be fair, I've said this all the time. To be fair, like, it's a lot of work to play on camera. I mean, I don't think it would bother someone like you, but some of the guys don't like to play on camera because you feel like everybody's, like lording over you.
Yeah.
I remember when Dr. Matt played here, we've talked about him before in the chat, Matt Elliott, who was, like, de facto best player at the shop.
He's a machine.
But then, like, he graduated from medical school, and now he lives in Charlottesville and is a neurosurgeon. Like, I hate, as much as good of friends as I was still am, I guess, with Matt. Like, I don't want him ever watching my Magic game because I feel like I'm not
every play you do apart.
Well,
Not in a bad way.
yeah, well, not even that. He's not even vocal about it. I just know that he sees everything I miss, and I've never once claimed to be good at this game. But like, I'd like to think that like I'm at least average or above average. But when I play in front of him, and this is what I feel like a lot of people probably feel like when they play on camera, they feel like, oh, I have to be making a mistake. I have to be doing something wrong.
It's not that he's being rude about it. It's just that he's on such a heightened level that he just
In standard, he always used to joke that like when it comes to standard, he felt like I was better than he was because that's back when he used to play standard. and it's just because he didn't really care for it as much. But his that boy in a limited pool, like he's just, like you say, he's a machine.
He's my cube nightmare.
He went X and 1 for events at Origins 2 years ago. X and 1 for a weekend's worth of
full foil playset of new Phyrexia.
Yes, which at the time was worth like I don't know 400.
Yeah, it was a really nice reward.
I mean, I'm talking 400 like dealer buy, like because that had foil Sword of Feast and Famine, foil Karn,
Elish Norn,
foil Norn, all foil every Praetor.
Yep.
Welcome back, Jordan.
Sorry.
You missed a lot. We talked about Dr. Matt. We realized that our Scandinavian contingent has been very kind and donated some money to the stream so that we can help
When are we going
Matt.
to pull up and go
Did
to
you skip this
Scandinavia?
tonight?
No, okay.
When are we going to go to Scandinavia?
We've already talked about this, about how, remember the movie Troll Hunter, and how it's like the best advertisement for Norway possible?
And tax refund, and I've got a couple grand. Let's go.
Alright.
Go play pre-release up there with them.
Play pre-release. Where are you guys playing pre-release? You playing here? You playing downtown? No, we're going to Norway. They're not in Norway. They're in
I'm watching enough travel shows. I know some good places to eat over there.
So let's talk about this match real quick. No turn 1 play from Nick.
Are those humans?
Those are Gather the Townsfolk humans.
Nice.
More importantly than anything, Jeremy has missed his land drop. But he is.
Is it a tomb there at least?
What's he doing?
He's giving them tokens.
He doesn't need to do that.
I know he doesn't, but he feels like it.
He needs to not open the door.
That's true. He's trying to improve.
No, I appreciate it. He is. I always feel very, very appreciative when people co-commentate. 2 weeks in a row, Jordan has done that. So everyone is changing their. This is what people started doing last week. Everyone's changing their color in the chat to all the same colors, and now I have no idea what anyone is doing. Last week they figured out how to interact with the chat color scheme. So
we have 100 and.
Yeah, well, I was going to briefly mention that we have just broken a record for all-time stream concurrent viewers.
That's
at 180. We're going to break 200 tonight. I feel it. I know it's going to happen. We've got solid internet connection.
Yeah, how is that being hardwired?
Infinitely better. Like it hasn't dropped ever. It hasn't skipped ever.
That's great.
There were some people talking about having a little bit of issue, but I think it was on their end. This game might be over here.
There.
Yeah, it's just some games of Magic you lose because your opponent just outplays you or has a better draw, and then some games your deck beats you before you even get to play.
Would you ever take a one-land hand though? Like, is there ever?
With zombies, yes. With zombies on the draw.
Especially as your duel, so you have both your colors.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think he didn't. I think he mulled to 6 anyway.
Okay.
He's on the draw with zombies. He had 2 one drops in his hand. Ultimate Price of Silverblade buys him some time.
Yep. Is he just down to 2 humans now?
Yeah.
That helps. It helps.
Gravecrawler can't block anyway, so you might as well attack him now. If we had been doing it at the time, that would have been the first low light of the week ever on the stream. When remember Joseph Messer blocked with 1 and you piled out of here through like the very tiny door to go remind them.
No.
So is he representing Angel here? I do like Nick's suite of Mirage planes.
Yeah, those are fancy planes. And then that stray whiteboard one.
I guess he likes the art, but I don't like the white border. If you're going to go white border, you got to grief the whole thing, you know what I mean?
It's true.
So he's going to attack with the Gravecrawler. There's no reason to ever not attack with the Gravecrawler.
Correct.
If it's going to connect.
Even if it's really not going to connect, you just replay it.
Suicide.
Because maybe they think you have tricks. You just got to play the mind game there.
Attacking in, likely going to block and pitch a dude. Pitching a Gravecrawler is the best thing to pitch. Block here. Is there going to be a Selesnya Charm? Nope, just going to take 1.
He totally should have Restoration Angel that token.
And a Knight of Glory comes down. The Knight of Glory by itself will win next turn. Jeremy is at 3, and with Exalted, the Knight of Glory will get in for exactly 3. Does Jeremy have any response?
A charm?
Golgari Charm is the only answer here. The fact that he has not windmill slammed it and piled in suggests that he does not have it.
Maybe he's waiting on value.
Yeah, he can do it during.
Pre-combat, or
he can do it during. Well, now he can't do it. Period. unless he has another land in his hand, which I guarantee he does not.
Pay 2, call Garrett John.
He's going to trample over for, what, 3?
Is that how it works?
Protection?
Yeah, like it's...
Discarding 3 creatures. So that makes it a 6/5. He assigns 1 damage, so it takes
That's
5.
10.
5.
Or 9. That's 10 or 9, which is really ridiculous. Like, that's...
He's dead on the way back, but it was a novel effort.
Well, I mean, you have to think, like,
Very
if
close.
that 1 land would have come earlier...
Yeah, actually, it would have been a hard game, but that's the breaks.
He had an Abrupt Decay in his hand.
That was the breaks. We're going to talk about spoilers, or are we in another game?
20 minutes left.
Now, yeah, if you want to go try and find someone else. The chat is now speaking to us in...
Scandinavian?
I
know.
Some snacks and a medic. So,
So, we've got 2 quick ones there. Max, you unfortunately ran into the buzzsaw that is Chris Harless and his Rakdos deck. He lost a game. He was in the 1-1 bracket. Who did he...
He lost to...
Did you know... No, because Joe Lewis played in the first round. Oh, maybe. No, Joe Lewis didn't play him in the first round. Interesting note, I have to go back and check, but I think the second game where he did not have turn 4 Falcon Wrath Aristocrat is the first time ever. Nobody?
Like the 1 game.
Alright, so we do not have another bonus match for this round, but you know what we do have? Max, are you ready for some spoiler talk?
Absolutely.
What's your Twitter, Max?
My Twitter
Maximus.
is 87.
Max is in here? Max stole 4 prey points from me.
I'm going to go outside and play test it.
Yeah,
You got it.
too.
I'll be back.
Alright, Gary, you want to get in here and talk about some spoilers?
No, but
I dropped, so I'm going to hang out.
sure.
Alright, so just
What,
grab
you
that
3-0?
door.
Yeah.
Stop it.
He stomped me.
Joe Lewis's deck is good. It is Jones. It
Well,
is
I mean,
the best
he just drew a
mid-range
lot
deck.
of removal and no way to kill me.
So,
I rancored his Huntsmaster, which flipped, and then Celestia tried.
so you're 2-1 then?
I'm 3-0.
That's
Oh, you're
saucy.
3-0.
That's techie.
You did win. Garrett's sporting, of course, your new winter look.
The opposite of us.
The opposite of us. Alright, so Maxx Turner, Garrett
This is my
Relentless.
Pedro Sanchez. I got really sick today and thought cutting my hair off would maybe help.
We talked about Thrall, Parasite. We're going to go through the Gatecrash spoilers. So I know it's not Magic. I know we're going to lose some of you, but we are going to talk about some really cool cards that have been spoiled this week.
But
So
the next
I would.
round should be coming pretty soon.
No, 17 minutes.
There's only like a game or two, that's what he said.
Yeah. So there's a chance that if nobody goes to time, there's not a lot going on. The room is very aggro heavy tonight. It hasn't been like, well, Jonathan, like Scotty Wright's not here, like you're not playing Control, so it's a quick one tonight. So hopefully we actually get some matches.
Dave Brown's playing. Dave Brown is playing
the
Devastation Tide, Archaeam Nature, Infinite Combo.
Laboratory Maniac, is he playing
I
that?
don't know if he's playing that, but
So
I
we've
just
talked-
saw him amass the components and reveal Boundless Realms.
Yeah, he plays Bound. I think it's his Laboratory Maniac deck. So you guys check out the chat. If there's anything going on there we need to talk about, stick
can't
with us.
read
I beg you, stay with us. Let's talk about some Magic cards. So let's see. Any questions you might have in the chat? Any comments on these cards? So we've talked about
Scandinavian.
Thrall Parasite earlier tonight. That's a 1-drop extort creatures. He's pretty cool. We've also talked about the Boros Guild Mage tonight, Sunhome Guild Mage.
I have not actually seen that Guild Mage.
The Boros one.
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk. It's
I have seen the aforementioned Charm that everybody's probably seen.
Yeah, Sunhome Guild Mage, we talked about it a little bit earlier in between the break, but basically, for 3 mana, you can do an Anthem effect that stacks, and then for 4 mana, you get a 1/1 red and white haste token. So, I mean, obviously,
Not the most
all
powerful, but-
yeah, not the best one. All these Guild Mages
He is
are-
a human, though.
yeah, he is a human. All these are super strong and limited, so, hopefully, it'll definitely make an impact there. I think so far the only Guild Mage that's really threatening to make a standard splash is the Dimir Guild
That's
Mage.
right, you actually wrote his name was Garrett Relentless.
Of course I did, man.
You put your
Let's talk
helmet back
about,
on.
I haven't worn the helmet yet. Alright, so we've got our gear on, we're ready to talk about Scarred Guild Mage,
Raiden,
which is the Gruul Guild Mage. This is, I'm a grown-ass man, and I'm going to laugh harder at this than I am anything else that anyone else will say to me. But so this guy's actually pretty cool. For 2-cost activation, creatures you control get trample, which is very interesting because I guess it's super strong ability, especially in limited.
Mm-hmm.
It might see play in standard depending upon if there's like a big.
Also a human.
Also human. What's interesting about
Non-humans.
Maxx Turner need to read creature type for us.
Non-humans, I think, is going to make a big busty.
Well, I mean, it already made top 4. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but we went
Beat
to
my best friend. I hate that guy.
yeah, we went to Star City Columbus last week. We had some really good showings by players here. Yen Sang made he lost his win and finished 14th in the standard event of 695 people,
Very
and
impressive.
he lost to Anaya Humans decks, Ben Weinberg's deck, who went on to top 4 that event.
That's right.
The interesting thing about this one is that, unlike the other guild mages, this ability doesn't stack. I mean, you can activate it multiple times, but you don't get the additional effect like all the other ones, so that's very interesting. But for 1 in the Gruul colors, target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature until end of turn, still a land. So
Very nice, though.
the Koth effect, basically.
I think
That
it's very
seems good.
cost-effective.
Like this card seems like the kind of card that might show up somewhere outside of limited.
You
Obviously,
drop him turn 2, turn 3, animate your land, bash for 6. You know.
yeah, it is a Gruul likes to beat down, and this is very much a beat down card. So I think this should see a certain amount of play, I would imagine. We'll have to wait and see. Like all spoilers, number 1, I don't know what I'm talking about, so don't take anything as I say with too much.
What is the definitive word
I know.
for 155 people now?
Yeah. We always lose people once we stop playing Magic, and it's just
Once the helmet comes on?
well, safety first, Gary.
Scare everybody
Safety
off.
first.
It's just a flesh wound.
But let's pile through these. I got a lot of these bad boys, and we haven't gotten to the big ones yet.
Let's get to the big one.
Well, this one came out last night. This, of course, the next in the cycle of key runes. It is the Simic key rune.
I don't know.
The hexproof one?
Yeah, can you see that?
No.
I'll just read it. Simic key rune. They all cost 3, mixed blue and green. But for blue and green, this one turns into a 2/3 hexproof. It's a crab.
Really?
It is a crab, so of
interesting.
course there's a lot of adult theme jokes that you can go with a crab theme.
Yeah.
One guy on Twitter today was saying that he hopes that there's a car, since there was Lobber Crew and Return Around, and he hopes there's a Lobster Crew and the other one. But this is really good. The 3 ass is like pretty important, I think, and the fact that it's hexproof provides like an alternate win condition. Plus, like Simic is the ramp guild, really. I mean, most of the Simic decks through the history of Magic have been green ramp into blue high end and drawing cards and stuff like that.
Have
So
we talked about the Demir signet? It's going to break control mirrors.
the
like
cipher.
Tar Pit back in the day?
We did talk about it last week. It is it's 2/2 unblockable, and it is basically the creeping tar pit because it is how you deal with planeswalkers. It is your end game. If you played in Zendikar Standard, you know that creeping tar pit in the Esper
I
list.
agree.
Does this mean when you play Riders of Gavany, you will start naming crabs?
I might name crabs with my Riders
My
game.
humans will not get crabs.
I
Had to do it.
It's turned into I don't know. It's not too bad because earlier Sam made a really bad pun, so I don't think that joke was nearly as bad as the pun he
No,
made.
that wasn't.
But
That was mild.
I can't remember. So just kind of blowing through some of these like lower end ones. This card was spoiled last night, I think. It's called Serene Remembrance, and for those of you who've been playing since the dawn of time, like myself, this is basically Gaia's Blessing approximation. For 1 green at sorcery speed, shuffle this card and 3 other cards from 1 graveyard into their owner's libraries. So you do have the obvious interactions with like your junk reanimator lists, get rid of someone's
there's already a card
reanimator.
like that in standard right now. Memories Journey or whatever it is.
That comes
Yeah,
with
it's
flashback.
yeah, it has flashback. It's blue to cast and green to flashback. Is it 2 both times?
It's 2 of 1.
3.
It's 1 in a blue to play it and green.
No,
to
how many does it
flashback.
shuffle in?
Oh, I think it's 3. I think it's 3.
I thought it was 2 both times, but it doesn't
That's
matter.
how relevant
But that card is very good because they even play that in Legacy Dredge in the sideboarded games because it flashes back for 1 green, and you can, in response to Surgical Extraction, shuffle your own cards. Just to beat that, but it's just another graveyard hate spell. What's interesting about this too is for like some of the control decks, or like the decks that like tutor to a certain extent or looking for something, you can shuffle your own cards back in, which is I guess.
Is it going to replace Elixir?
Well, it doesn't gain you don't gain the life, so the tempo's not nearly as important. But But yeah, I didn't really think about that until you mentioned Memories Journey, Garrett. But
You can get it.
I mean, obviously this is green, so you don't have to play the blue. But we're getting to the point where with full 10 Shocklands, it doesn't matter what color you're going to play.
That's it.
Which, by the way, I highly doubt that the core set duels are going to be reprinted in 14. So I might get fetch lands
In M14,
in M14.
I don't know if they'll ever reprint fetch lands. And the only reason no, you're probably right from the thematic. It makes a lot of sense.
Because
but,
the Innistrad duels are going to rotate out too.
Mhm.
So it just makes sense that the core set duels are going to be
Yeah.
out of the same.
The only thing about the fetch lands is that, like, they've made comments about how like the length of the average game,
Because of shuffling.
the shuffling in those cards, and that's the power of them. But at the same time, it does. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
We're getting the Elfham Sanctuary cycle back.
The Guiltleaf Palace
The
thing.
Guild Gates. No, like the...
So let's talk about this lady. I think I may be a little bit more on board this card than the average person. I think there's a lot. Huh?
Like, I've already spoken for my disdain of this card.
I don't think it's bad, and I won't troll you like I do every time by saying how it's a good needy-ish, but because we always know this kind of card is good. But we're talking about Prime Speaker Zagana. From a thematic standpoint, this is your Simic guild leader, right? Which I guess, like in the thematics of it all, like the Merfolk took over after the old Simic was blown up, and I don't know. I don't read the books, but so this is a Merfolk lady. She's a Merfolk wizard. She is a 1/1 for 6, obviously super strong at 1/1 for 6, but her ability is what makes her quasi-playable. She enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on her, where X is the greatest power
Which is a replacement
among other creatures.
Like, that's not a trigger. You won't be able to respond by, like, Tragic Slipping it. She'll just enter the battlefield. It's like Bloodthirst.
Yeah, and it's also like your clone effects, like your
Right.
Metamorph and stuff like that. And then when she enters the battlefield, you draw a card equal to its power. So that one you can respond to, and that's her real. I mean, that's why this card is theoretically playable. And it goes along with the evolve mechanic, so it's thematically fine.
Do you know who that person is?
Which one?
Matthias.
Matthias. Matthias is from Chile, and he I've been talking to him on Facebook about, like, he had suggested a red-green Stuffy Doll deck that was very similar to yours. It was the one that was posted in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was one he suggested, but
It was not his fault. It was not... The deck's going to gain a lot from the next set, I think. I think it's just not placed right now.
yeah, we're getting several questions in the chat about whether the Stuffy Doll deck did play. You did, in fact, play. Max played it to a 1-2 finish and then decided to drop because of
The black one.
lack of fun being had, because it's not, unlike the Burn at the Stake deck, which is very proactive, your deck is entirely reactive.
In this aggro heavy tonight,
Yes,
the
it is
first
lo-
4 turns of me doing nothing, getting my face...
Very rough. How good would your deck be with Pyroclasm?
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that's the problem. So that's what I hope we get, is some kind of uncommon Pyroclasm
If
effect.
had Slagstorm, I'd be
Yeah.
fine. But really, Timber doesn't cut it.
No, doesn't get flyers, and it costs 3. So we're talking about this guy. So she has pseudo evolve, comes in with counters equal to the house power. So obviously, in this colors, you think Rakdos comes in as 6/6. Then you draw 5 cards. The problem being is that you have to set up a board state where you already have a Thragtusk in play, and then play this as a 6/6. When one would argue maybe you just want another Thragtusk, or you want to cast a Sphinx's Revelation. So
Your Thragtusk,
I understand why.
Playing our Model Worm.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be good in EDH, and I understand that's kind of a cliche thing, but, like, it's a very strong card in those archetypes. And it is legendary, so you can just constantly refill your hand.
That's right.
But it'll be interesting to see. You know what's very interesting about... Think about this in Standard right now. What card higher than 5, other than their Model Worm, which you mentioned...
Well, actually, hold on. Let's... What if you Restoration Angel this? Like, what if she just comes in as a 1/1? And then they're like, okay, whatever, pass turn, and then you Restoration Angel it.
Draw
Get to draw
Ancestral
3
Recall.
cards. That's 4/4.
Seems fine.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You can do a lot worse things, but of course then you're into band colors, which is not a big deal, but it is a different,
I never...
slightly different. But think about it, like we had a year that was like dominated by Titans. We had like 2 years that was dominated by Titans. Like, other than our Model Worm, which is not really seeing that much play.
Correct.
Is there a card that people are casting, a creature that costs more than 5?
No.
Everything stops at Rakdos and Thundermaw. or Zealous Conscripts.
Right.
Though we're not playing with big creatures.
And no one's playing with 7-drop worm, the
Yeah.
one that gives you 7 life, and
Elder Scale.
Elder Scale worm.
Yeah.
No one's playing with Armada worm.
Nobody's playing with World Spine Worm.
I've got 2.
Well, no one's playing with
They need to be
Gristlebrand.
played.
Gristlebrand is...
Gristlebrand shows up as like a one-off in some like weird reanimator decks, but they're never trying to cast it. They're only trying to cheat it into play. So it's interesting. So there might not be a lot of huge creatures to get tons of value out of with this guy, but obviously it will be a huge EDH general. I would recommend if you if you see someone that has a foil copy of this, probably trade for it. It will appreciate pretty highly because this is the kind of people love to draw cards. Green, blue X decks are the best decks in EDH because you get your ramp and you get your card, all the good blue counter spells and card draw. So a full copy of this will be very valuable.
I'm waiting on us to get another Elvish Piper form of card back out in this game.
You and me both, son. My Maya deck needs it.
I mean, I think it would push these kind of cards into being standard playable.
Yeah. So let's talk about another one. Okay, so this one's cool. Max, you played back in the day when
It was a Sunday, by the way.
Mystic Snake was a card.
Yes, I did.
What if we just jam Mystic Snake onto a counterspell? Onto Slime Molding? Because that's what Mystic Genesis is. 2, a green and double blue for an instant counterspell that puts an XX green ooze token onto the battlefield where X is the spell's converted mana cost. So this is Mystic Snake meets
+1.
Draining Whelk.
The Snake was just 1 green, blue, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Mystic Snake costs 1 green, blue,
But you just
and
got
you got a 2/2 out of it, and it counters a target spell. For 1 extra colorless mana, now you get this card, which you get an XX.
So when you counter Thragtusk, you get a 5/5.
Yeah, I don't know if it's standard playable, because it is a counterspell that costs 5. But it's obviously EDH playable, and I think that's where it really comes in.
You pass with 5, and they try to play their 5. Your 5 trumps it. You know.
I guess people did play Desertion back in the day, which is an old
Like
counter.
Draining Whelk back in the day.
Yeah, but those were
Tron.
those formats were a lot slower too. So I mean, the last time Draining Whelk was played was when like the Wafatapa's like 5-color control teachings.
And Ursulane had just rotated out.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is standard playable. I
would
took all
play
these.
with it.
I took all of the other than Cryptic Command, all the counter spells in my cube that cost more than 3. I took them out.
I mean, you could ramp into this very easily off of the Simic Kiryu and
but what are you
Farseeks and
Like, did you do anything prior to, or are you just, making a 5/5 and then...
maybe you just be tricking you and some of their guys.
If there's like some kind of like flash thing, or like like in the Bant decks you might play one of or something like that. But like the main problem with this is like it's a 5-drop and like it's not really good against the decks like the humans decks. Like you don't want to pay a 5-cost counter spell that counters like
good for the control
a late game Silverblade Paladin and I guess you get a 3/3 is fine. It'll be interesting. Oh, what I was going to say earlier is with all these spoilers, assume that we don't necessarily despite what you said, we're not the definitive answer, but also that like everyone else, we're just going to wait until the pros tell us which cards are good and then play those, right?
Yeah, we're defining the meta for now 138 people.
We are going to wait for what the pros tell us are good, and then the pros are going to go to a tournament with a deck that beats that deck.
Yeah, which is exactly what Star City guys did last time.
I was there!
I don't understand why they're allowed to play in the tournaments of their employer, but any comments here?
Does anybody want to say that we're not the definitive voice of Magic?
Does anybody have Clifftop retreats for trade?
I've got a Jace. I'll trade for some.
Need some Clifftop retreats.
Yeah, I don't see any really comments in there. Just see any discussions. So if there's anything interesting, feel free to blast it out there.
See,
so Mystic just...
We are definitive for that person. They play all the cards that we say.
We'll see if they were Riders of Gavany.
Where is Aurelia? Let's talk about her. I have her.
Is she the red light?
She is the Boros Angel.
Double combat step one.
Oh,
Yes.
that's fantastic. That's a reanimator target.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is.
So and like here's the thing with Giselle. Giselle's awesome, but like the thing with Giselle, because I do play her in EDH in my Mile deck, I always feel like she has haste, even though she doesn't. She has virtual haste because some creatures getting double strike, but this Aurelia actually has the old-fashioned haste. She also has flying and vigilance. She costs 6 for a 3/4, which doesn't sound all that great until you realize that whenever she attacks, and remember she does have haste, for the first time each turn, untap all your creatures control, and after that there's an additional combat phase. So that's the same as like like a finest hour kind of effect.
Her and Gisela out.
Her plus Gisela is the most brutal thing possible. I'm a little upset because she does not have 5 power, so she's not fit into my Mael deck that well.
She doesn't.
But this card is pretty brutal because, like, even though it's a 3/4, like, it has that magic number 4 on the ass, so it beats Searing Spear. And, like, yes, it's only a 3/4, but it gets 2 attack steps, so it's basically a 6/4. It's also vigilant, so you can jump back on the crackback. And it affects all of your creatures. So if you have another Restoration Angel, it turns into a de facto 6/4. If you have a Thragtusk out, it turns into a 10/3.
Yeah.
So these are all brutal things.
And if they chump block your first combat step and your guys, don't.
Yeah, it does. It triggers when you attack. So it doesn't matter if the attack was good. It just matters if the attack.
And also, you could Cloud Shift her. Because it says whenever she attacks for the first time. So you could Cloud Shift her after combat.
Oh, does that work?
I wouldn't know.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just.
I think it does.
Like,
so you attack
after
first.
Combat damage, while you're still on the combat damage step, you get another one after this, but you Cloud Shift it.
The trigger's already gone on, and then you bounce her. She comes in as a new permanent.
But then you get Restoration Angel after that one.
Well, you can't. She's an angel. I wonder if that works. Remind me to talk. I think you're right. Let me ask JB in between rounds because that's a very interesting interaction. Because like Gary's saying, if you Cloud Shift it, the trigger's already gone on the stack, but since it comes back as a completely separate permanent, it would be the first time that it attacks. So you might be able to chain them. Of course, you do have to end up playing Cloud Shift, which is not necessarily great by itself, but if you build your deck around it, you know. The old Nyapod decks before rotation were playing, 1 or 2 Cloud Shifts because you just get advantage of the board effect.
All the creatures had fantastic come into play effects.
So Aurelia is super good. The most important card I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about right now because they just called time, and I want plenty of amount of time to talk about it, is not Aurelia, but her Fury, which was spoiled last night. Have you seen this card?
I saw, it's like it does damage attacks, right?
Yes.
I don't know the gist. I don't know the gist.
Here's what will happen. If you've not seen it, I will show you this card, and you will, for having played as long as you've had, you'll look at this card and be like, no, that's not a card. It does too many things. It's the best fireball that's ever been printed.
I have not actually seen it. I've seen chatter about it.
As much as I hate hyperbole, apparently, this is the best fireball that's ever printed. We'll talk about that. We just don't have time to give it its fair shake right now. Any comments about this thing?
Where's the definitive voice of magic, though?
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, our dedicated stream fans are going to say that after you specifically request that they do that.
No, I asked if anybody had said otherwise.
Okay, let's talk about one more card. Let's talk about this. It's the Brandon Hart portion of the show.
Okay.
Where we talk. I don't know. Probably just listening to Biggie Smalls somewhere. Let's talk about, why is it the Brandon Hart portion? Because Brandon Hart is our de facto dragon guy at the shop.
He's our Brian Kibler.
Everybody has a dragon guy. Let's talk about Hellkite Tyrant, which I apologize for saying it, but is very good in EDH. It is a 6/5 flyer with trample that costs the same as Inferno Titan. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, so whenever it connects, and remember, it does have trample, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. So I don't think there's going to be like a very specific deck that this comes in as like a sideboard card in Standard.
I mean,
like if there's some kind of
on 6 beater though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, remember you can get that angel for the same cost as this. I think I want that angel.
As a vintage card.
Vintage, you just play Hellkite Tyrant ramp.
Yeah, turn 1 reanimate.
And just attack for their board.
I mean, in Standard, what you're going to get like a couple key rings tops.
Yeah. But in Commander, you can get tons of fun stuff.
And then steal everything?
You can steal everything. You can... Yeah, that would be an interesting thing, is you could... Mycosynth Spring or whatever that is, or... Mycosynth Lattice, turn everything. Or you can Liquid Metal Coating and turn something into it. That's really narrow, but it's still fun. But, like, how many good... so I have a Rafik deck that I play a lot. You could steal, like, every equipment that I have, which is usually a lot. And I play a lot of mana artifacts because I need Metalcraft and some stuff.
That's what they're talking about, the Omnidor Thragfire deck that would be wrecked by this dragon.
Yes.
Give me those lanterns and lotuses.
Yes. Yes, it would. Old Zach Villanoco's Primal Surge deck would also suffer a lot because it plays the full complement of lanterns and 3 Gilded Lotuses. But there has to be I mean, it's not like this is like Innistrad where they printed exactly 1 dragon because they just had to have a dragon in every set. But you know, because Ravnica is thematically a dragon.
Right, there's
dragon
lots of
planet.
dragons.
Yeah. So you know, I'm sure this won't be the only dragon we see. And it's clearly not the best dragon. I mean,
Definitely not the worst dragon.
no, I mean it's fine, but I mean like Thundermaul's just like haste is just so much better.
And the attack effect's really big.
Yes, this is definitely a modern Roblox card.
What is this? What is going on? Are we getting? Is this in regards to somebody is very upset? Oh, somebody is trolling someone else in our own chat. This is what happens when you talk about card evaluation. Everybody becomes an expert.
Yeah, like, for the last 15 minutes, no one in the chat has cared about anything we said. All they want to do is just spew out their opinions.
I think
that's what we're doing, too.
I think there's specifically one person who's ragging on another person because they said something they didn't agree with.
We should do that. We should do that here.
Which is, yes, we should
I
just...
don't agree with you, Zach.
Well, that's because I'm wrong. And scene. See, that's how it would go in here. None of us would put up too much of a fight. Is there another one we can talk about real quick?
Sure
Last week there wasn't many spoilers to be had, and this week they spoiled like we're getting. I think next week they'll spoil the whole set.
We're getting very close.
Yeah, so a lot of them have come up. Talk about another. I don't want to talk about any of these ones that are like. Oh, we can talk about the Boros Keyrune.
I have to play the game for him next year.
Did he win?
Probably.
He's a machine. He's our new Dr. Mac.
Have they spoiled all the Keyrunes? What are the new Keyrunes? There's the Dimir, which is spoiled. Simic, which was spoiled. Boros, which we got here.
Gruul.
Orzhov, we haven't seen. And Gruul.
Gruul's trample, isn't it?
Yeah. I have that on here too, but I don't know if the Orzhov has been spoiled. But the Boros Keyrune, obviously, they all cost 3, they all make mana, and they all activate for 2.
This one has not.
This one, it hasn't been? Okay. So this one turns into a 1/1 double striker.
You need to explain Extort to me, because I'm not sure how it works.
Whenever you cast a spell, you can pay 1 hybrid black-white, and if you do, you get a Blood Artistry.
You can only do it once, though?
Yes.
Like, stack it?
Well,
And
you can have multiple instances of Extort. But
the Extort is on the permanent that's in play.
Oh, so if you have 5 things with Extort, you play a spell, drain 5?
We talked about this. We talked about this earlier
so far
in the
it
night.
has not been put on a permanent yet. Just
I'm just thinking like a Sublime Archangel for Extort.
Yeah, they've all been creatures. But basically, this was the one that was spoiled this week, which is Thrall Parasite. It's a 1/1 1-drop with Extort, and you can pay 2 life and tap and remove a counter from target non-land permanent. So I don't know exactly what the counter is for. I don't know how much that's going to play into.
I mean, it slows down a Planeswalker, maybe.
Yeah, but the main thing is it's a 1-drop with Extort, because we talked about earlier, like, the Extort effect, like, if you're playing that kind of Blood Artist deck, which may end up being a deck, because, like, Blood Artist is very strong, and obviously it's going to be very good in Limited, because of the tempo, but, like, you want your Extort cards to have a low curve, because, like, you don't want an Extort with 6, because the idea is that you want to cast spells after you play the Extort card.
That's the counter to, like, the Evolve permanents, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
like, you bring him down, he, like, kind of keeps your other guys Evolve.
Yeah, this is, like...
That's very blocky, yeah. It's not...
It's very efficient, because you turn, like... If you have a couple of these things out, or just Extort creatures in general, it turns your late game top decks into, like, some kind of actual business.
Huge drain lives.
Yeah, so... Yeah, so the chat has already moved on to talking about the Fireball, but I'm saving that until the next round. Did you see what we're giving away this week?
Nope.
Oops. I take all this stuff.
Acidic Slime?
Foil promo Acidic Slime, as well as our usual rock, paper, scissors cards. How do you get those? You go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/XHouseMagic.
For more this week. I got it this week.
For more information. You did participate.
It's the first time.
You did not unfortunately win. I'm sorry about that.
Who won? Did you already do it?
Yes, we drew. We always do in the second round. The first winner for rock, paper, scissors cards was Larry Watring, the guy from Parkersburg.
Ah, screw Larry.
And then the winner of the Deadbridge Goliath was actually a guy from the Philippines that I talked to. So.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's cool. He's the guy who asked us to wish him a happy birthday one time. So that was fun.
We're going to hop after this.
I don't know. Do you have a card?
A car?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still finding out because I have to go.
Alright. Round 4 of 5. I hear JB making the announcements.
I gotta go.
Go win.
I'm going to walk outside and talk to Amber. I'll be back.
That's fine. Alright guys, we're going to take a brief break here. I do not know. We will find out. going to take a quick break. We're going to step outside and find you a feature match. So, do not go anywhere. You're stuck with us this long. Listen to us talk about Magic cards. We will be right back with hopefully some more awesome Magic action. So stay tuned.